Welcome back to Brushes and Blades, and today we're going to be talking about mold lines and how to get rid of them and the tools to use to get rid of them. Alright, first let's talk about what a mold line is, and this is dirty line right here that you're seeing. And it comes from when the item is formed on a sprue, and it generally meets up with this is where you most commonly see them, like you see it right here on this round. That's where the mold line generally ends up. And sometimes GW does a really good job of hiding them for you, and sometimes they don't. Like this one right here, you can lightly see that there's a mold line right here, but it goes right into the boot strap, like right into this line where it would disappear naturally anyway. And sometimes they hide it in like right here where like connections, where backs and shoulders meet and stuff like that. And they, like I said, they actually do a good job. But sometimes you get these that are so in your face if you do not fix them that when you go to paint the model, especially if you're dry brushing a model, it's going to be in your face that you left a mold line behind. And this one goes from like the upper thigh over the kneecap all the way down to the toes. This one's a pretty gnarly one. So now that we know what a mold line is, let's talk about common tools that I use. All right, so common tools that I use when I'm doing mold lines. For more dramatic ones that are like on the bottom of feet or in places where I don't care or they're gonna see, or if it's just really, really bad and we gotta get down there quickly, is I will use a metal file. I tend not to use this. This is a last resort for me, but I do commonly use it. Another one is a mold scrape tool, which is actually quite nice. I do like this one. This one in particular is from Monument Hobbies, and it's great. So you like kind of pull on it. I'm not going to use any examples yet for this, but you pull on the model, and then like you can flip it. The tool is facing the other direction, and you can get into like other nicks and crannies, and it's an interesting little tool. All right, and the other one are these little file sticks. If you've ever watched me do a kit bash video or a building video, you've seen me use this. This is great because it's small. It can really, if you compare this into the leg, it's like the same size of the leg. It can get into nice little nicks and crannies. It's only on the sand surface is only on two sides. You can get these in variable grain for sanding. I think this one, if I recall correctly, is like 200. Other things that I commonly use are these little sheets of sandpaper. I use two different ones, and one is probably overkill, but I use this 400 grit sandpaper, and then I just put it into like little like 2x1 inch squares. I just rip them off. I don't really care. And the overkill one that I use quite often is this 3000 grit sandpaper. It basically feels really smooth, and I'll show you in this process what and how I use this for. And I especially use this on weapons. And then of course the most common one that most of us use is the hobby blade. The standard little 11 is the generic size for most people. And why this is such a great tool is that we're actually not generally using the blade side. We are actually using the back of the blade. It's really thin. It's generally pretty sharp, but not sharp enough to like gouge into the plastic, and that's what we're going to start with. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. Let me get us super zoomed in here. There we go, so you can see up and close what we're doing. So we're going to do three things. We're going to fix this entire leg. All right, so we're going to fix this connection point on the foot, connection point on this like pack here or whatever, bag or whatever. And then we're going to fix the mold line. There's not much of a mold line on the back. They did a really good job on this one too. It's like right, you can see a little bit on the boot, but not too much. But like I was saying, this main focus here is going to be this right here. So some of these connection points, if you cut, when you breaking it off the sprue, and you get these points right here, and that's when I use my stir stick that I was talking about before. And you just give it, because it is so flexy, I put my finger right where I'm wanting to use the sandpaper and just give it a little multi-directional scooch there and wipe away the dust, blow away the dust, and you can still see it, but it is way better than it was just a moment ago. Right, there's obvious things that we can do to make that visibly disappear, and that's going to be using the back of the blade. And we can kind of just scrape until that's gone to where it's smooth. Now we don't want to overkill this, and again we're using the back of the blade. That's already looking way better. You can still kind of see where the blade hit just a little too hard. And then again, we can hit it with a sanding stick. You can do it either way. You can start with the blade, you can start with a sanding stick. I like to start with a smooth, more filed down surface. And look at that. That connection point is basically gone. All right, now let's get down to this leg. And we're gonna just start from the top. And we're just barely applying pressure with the back of the blade. As you can see, that mold line is just disappearing. Try not to hit the details too strongly. Mostly worried about this knee cap. And we can see that it's basically gone. You can see where it was. You gotta mind it, this Astra Militarum standard soldier is very small. So that's that little bit of detail you can see. Still a little bit on the foot. Pull on that foot a little bit more. Give it a little wipe. And it's at least it's on a line. So now I would go to either, depending on what I was trying to do, I would use this 400 grit sandpaper or to the stick. I'm going to go with the stick because this guy is so small. And we're just going to give it a light, barely giving it any pressure. And again, what's great about this being only on two sides is you can get like on this ankle area, I can get onto the foot, but I don't have to worry about messing up the top of the boot or the bottom of the pant if this was like four-sided. All right. Give that a little bit more love. And blow away any excess, wipe any excess. Now we're looking really, really good. Now, I'm going to show you the extra step that I always do. I don't, maybe not in every model, but when it's a major surface, and again, I definitely use these on like weapons or more like swords and stuff like that to make sure that they're baby smooth. But as you can see right now, there's like this area where we scraped away that's just not as shiny as it would be. Like, here's a perfect example, is this pack, or it's where we didn't do any sanding, or it's nice and shiny, and then where we scraped away and sanded, it's very matte. All right, so actually we're going to use that as the example. I'm going to take this, I'm just going to fold this, give me a nice little crisp line here, put my finger on it, and we're just going to sit here and sand for a second. And same thing on that knee pad. And then that's why I like to fold it in half, so I can get like in the nicks and cricks and cracks. Again, I don't do this for every single soldier. I definitely get rid of the mold lines, but this extra step here with this 3000 grit sandpaper, not every basic soldier gets this love. But I tell you what, if I'm doing like a kit bash or a character or something like that, it gets that love. And as you can see, that shine is almost back, and it lets you see any imperfections that you may have missed. So this guy is looking way better already. All right, that's going to be it for this video today. Simple thing, what tools and how to fix mold lines. If you learned anything, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely hit that notification bell for all alerts on to this channel. And just for some channel update news, we are roughly, I think I checked it this morning, we're just over 200 watch hours away from monetization, so I'm super proud of that. I can only say thank you to y'all for your dedication to this channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate every like and every subscriber out there. And as always, every swing of the blade and stroke of the brush adds character to your miniature. YouTube thinks you will like this video right here, and if you would like to subscribe, click this button right here. See you in the next one.